Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming out here. To everybody assembled at Luther Family Ford, and thanks to all of you watching here on AM1100theflag.com. It is the March salute to law enforcement that we do here at Luther Family Ford each month. We really love this time of month. It's great to be out here. We weren't sure we were going to be able to do this today with the storm that was moving in, but thankfully the good Lord called that one off a little earlier than we thought. So we're all here and able to be together today to honor some great people in law enforcement. My name is Steve Hallstrom, President and Managing Partner at Fieldstone Group, Flag Family Media, and it's great to be out here and great to see so many people from Cass County Sheriff's Office. Thanks to all of you for coming out here as well. Want to send a special welcome to Sheriff Jesse Jnner. Jesse, thank you for coming out. Appreciate you being here and getting us all together today. Also want to say thank you to General Manager Brian Mosher here at Luther Family Ford. Brian, it's always fun to come back and see you and your team, and we're gathered for a good cause again today.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's nice to see everybody that was able to get here through the weather that we missed.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
so
it's a little slick out there, but not too bad.
Right, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
too,
absolutely.
so.
We appreciate you guys doing this. Why is this something that you and your team want to make sure that you're part of going forward?
Well, to me, I guess, it's kind of personal because I came from a law enforcement background, and when we started doing this, I don't know, 6 years ago now?
It's about that,
yeah. It seemed like a great idea to me, and I've been on board ever since.
Yeah.
So I just think it's great to be able to pay it back to these guys here for what they do.
Oh, thanks for making us feel at home here. I'm sure Jesse and his team would feel the same. Thank you, Brian, for having us out here today. The men and women of the Cass County Sheriff's Office serve us 24/7, 365, and while we're honoring one particular person today, certainly we're saying thanks to everybody there. So with that said, it's time to meet this month's honoree. I'm happy to introduce to you this morning Sergeant Kris Kevorkian. Let's give him a round of applause. Kris, thanks for coming out here today and letting us put you up here in the middle of all the attention today. So what does this mean today to be here and have so many of your teammates with you today?
It's humbling. It's nice to see the turnout, and a lot of these people have helped me get to where I am today, so it's really nice to see them all here to support me.
Yeah, really great to have everybody out here today. We'll hear more from Kris in a minute, but first I want to tell you a little bit more about him. Sergeant Kris Kevorkian was born and raised in Cass County, North Dakota. He graduated from NDSU majoring in Sociology and Criminal Justice. In 2005, while attending NDSU, Kris joined the Cass County Sheriff Reserve Unit as a volunteer until 2007, when he began his career as a correctional officer with the Cass County Sheriff's Office. As a correctional officer, Kris was assigned as a field training officer and participated in the Charism Program. From 2011 to 2016, he served on the Correctional Emergency Response Team as an operator, assistant commander, and team commander. In 2012, Kris was promoted to Corporal, attending and graduated from the Lake Region State College Police Officer Training Program. 2 years later, Kris was promoted to Sergeant within the Corrections Division. Since being employed with the Cass County Sheriff's Office, Kris has served as a field training officer, instructed PAT searching and area search classes, TASER instructor, use of force committee, vehicle operation review board, and the recruitment team. Kris is currently the team leader for the snowmobile and extraction teams. He also oversees the medical transport team and the jail's administrative staff as well. Kris is also the first to assist with community events like the Veterans Honor Flight of North Dakota and Minnesota. Kris has also been the point of contact since 2015, coordinating the Cass County Sheriff's Office staff and assisting our local veterans as they arrive at the airport before sunrise to attend the honor flight that heads to Washington, D.C. to visit memorials built in their honor. Whether on the job or on his own time, Kris is known for his kind heart toward animals in need. You may see him stopping traffic on Main Avenue to allow a family of geese to cross the street safely, or rescuing injured owls or birds and transporting them to the nearest rescue centers, even if it means driving for hours. So lots to talk about there with Kris. I do want to also say a special welcome. Kris's wife Trish and mom Linda are here today too, and we are very thankful to have you all here with us today as well. Thanks so much, and we know that your roles mean an awful lot in supporting these good folks and what they do. So, all right, I got to start with the animals. Tell me about the owls and the birds. Give me a story here or two about that, Kris.
The birds was just a flock of geese walking across Main Avenue. I stopped. I didn't know there were people with cameras there, and so I escorted them across the road to keep them from getting hit, and somehow it became very popular. But
okay.
the owl was Christmas probably 8 years ago at Trish's parents. There was an injured owl in the backyard. We got it into a crate, and no one would take it around here, so we drove to Minneapolis on Christmas Day with an owl to the Raptor Center. So interesting.
Pretty cool. Well, we have a chuckle about it, but pretty cool when you're able to help those owls. I've almost hit a couple owls on my way over to Park Rapids, so I know the feeling. So thanks for being good to all of us, the people and the animals as well. Tell us a little bit about the career that you've had. What stands out to you most as far as memories and things that you appreciate about what you've been able to do?
Sure. I had an old friend that worked for the sheriff's office. We worked together in probably a year after I graduated from high school, so I had somebody to kind of talk to about law enforcement. That was Jesse, and so I've known him for quite a few years, and he kind of has helped me along with this. I started as a reserve when I was in college, and as soon as I graduated, I decided this was kind of for me, so I started at the jail, and I've really had the benefit of being able to do a lot of different things over the years, whether it's helping out with patrol, snowmobile patrol, going out west and helping with pipelines. I've had a lot of opportunities to learn and work with a lot of great people. So,
tell us about something you really love doing and something that you'd be okay if you never had to do it again.
I really enjoy helping out with the honor flight, being able to help the vets and their families get onto the plane there and get going to their trip, that once of a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Something I live without. I've seen a lot of disgusting things in the jail, and a lot of things I wish I could forget. So that'd probably be top of the list there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Tell us about something you've learned about law enforcement doing the job that you really couldn't have been taught when you started. You just had to go through it to learn what it was really all about.
Boy, it's surprising to see, even at a local level, we have so much support. So you see people that are not necessarily interested or backing law enforcement. You hear about it on TV, but when you're around here, most people come and say hi, thank you for your service, those kind of things. So that's nice. So just having to, probably the big thing is adjusting your schedule, having to work when other people are home, holidays, weekends, things like that. So it's something you're never really taught, but luckily you have somebody at home that will take care of those things when you're gone, and makes it easier.
I think for those of us who aren't in the business, it's easy to sort of take for granted what they do and what they are willing to do for us to serve and protect our community. And I always like to ask Kris, tell me a little bit, what is it like for you going to work in a job where you never know what the day is going to hold? There's no guarantees you get to return home safely to the family at the end of the day. What's that like, knowing that and operating with that reality day to day?
Try not to dwell on it or really think about it a whole lot. Most of the time you're going out and helping other people, and it might be their worst day there, so you don't really think about what you're dealing with. You more try and help them out. So
yeah, good. Tell us about an experience you had where you felt like you really made a difference. Maybe somebody you helped or a cause you lend a hand to that really worked out well. Something that you take pride in saying, yeah, I left that spot a little bit better than I found it.
I guess the honor flight would probably be the big takeaway for me, just being able to go in, streamline things. We have a core group of people. The first year I started doing it, I asked for volunteers to come and help, and pretty much every time I send out an email and the same people are there. I mean, you don't have to look for help because they want to do that. It's such an exciting thing.
Yeah.
It really brings joy to most people.
Yeah,
so
you bet it does. We're pleased to have Sheriff Jnner here with us today too, and Jesse, I always like to have you talk a little bit about the people that we're visiting about here today. We heard all the great words about what Kris has done, but what does he mean to your team?
So like Kris mentioned, actually he and I worked together before he started at the Sheriff's Office, and myself actually. So I've known Kris for many, many years, and even in that capacity before he worked at the Sheriff's Office, he was a hard worker, and I really wanted to get into this line of work. But he wears a lot of hats within our organization. You read a number of those things, and he's this type of person that always wants to make sure that we're ready to go. So for example, he's on the snowmobile team. So when we have days like this coming, I'll get an email out of the clear blue saying, hey, I've been out, I've checked the snowmobiles, the plow truck, and they're ready to go. So he's always thinking of ways that we can be prepared and ways that he can assist within the organization to make us better. And then just, some of the other roles he's had and responsibilities, like being the CERT commander. He talked about the honor flight, and he's just really taken that to another level. We always kind of participated in that, but again, it's just something that he's ran with. Our office doesn't really have to put anyone in charge of it, because he just goes out and gets it done. And he's very passionate about that, which shows his caring side and how he wants to help others and really just make a difference.
It's been light duty for the snowmobile team this winter, has it? We haven't had much until
Brian
until
said
today.
Brian said we're not having much of a storm, but knock on wood, maybe we'll
enough.
get something a little later here. But
Yeah, right.
you can be willing to bet that Kris has got everything ready to go if we do have a storm. So
I always like to ask the head of the law enforcement agency we're visiting with just to tell us a little bit about what's going on in their jurisdiction and within Cass County. Tell us some of the things that you're watching, some of the trends that are happening in our community right now.
Sure. Well, we just, Angie is a big part of completing our yearly report and putting our statistics together for us. So we just completed that. So that gives us a good overview and look at what we're seeing here in the county. And so, really kind of looking over that report, we're seeing what we typically see in that, thefts are usually a little bit higher for us. Maybe some assaults in the way of domestic activity. And so we're always a little bit concerned about those things and looking for ways that we can be a little bit more proactive and curbing some of those activities. And so we'll look to do that as we move forward in the future. We recently put together our threat assessment, threat management team, which you probably heard about. And so we're really excited about that. Sergeant Jesse Castle, who's over there, he's kind of spearheading that effort. And that's going to give us another opportunity in the way of being able to keep our community safe and look at those events where someone might be going down a pathway to violence where it could affect a number of people within our community. And so we're really excited about that, and I think that's going to bring another level of safety to our community and being proactive in that effort.
Yeah,
so
great. Well, thanks, Jesse, for your commitment to our county and for serving us as well as you do. We appreciate you and all you do and the great leadership you provide for the team. Thanks for being here today.
Yep, thank you.
All right, we also, as part of the festivities here, give away, well, Brian gives away, I like to take credit for it, but really it's Brian, gives away a $100 gift card to Luther Family Ford here, to the person who is being honored. And Brian, that's something that you guys have done each time. That's great. Thank you for doing that and making that gift available.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so we always like to ask a little bit about where that might go. And as you've heard a little bit, that Veterans Honor Flight of North Dakota and Minnesota is very important to Kris. Tell us a little bit more about that and why you wanted to bless them with that gift today.
So they use money that's donated or raised to send vets out there to the Washington, D.C. So it takes about $1,000 for each person to get on that flight to be bussed around. So I figured the gift card would kind of help out with that.
Yes.
Just pay a little bit forward on that.
Yeah, they can always use those for raffles or silent auction prizes or things like that. So those always are appreciated as well. Sandy's Donuts also says thanks each month to the agency being honored, and they'll be bringing some goodies by Cass County Sheriff's Office and also Luther Family Ford as well. We have created a section on our website, am1100theflag.com, where you can find out more about Kris and all the other honorees that we've had in this program as well. And we'll be inviting him to join us as our community VIP on the Need to Know Morning Show on AM 1100 The Flag and FM 92.3 with Kevin and Alex. At our company, when there's action taken by law enforcement and it makes the news, we give the benefit of the doubt to the men and women who protect and serve our community. We always like to make a special mention of that every time we get together and do this. So with that said, that wraps up our ceremony here today. But before we do that, let's give one big more round of applause to our honoree today, Sergeant Kris Kevorkian. And we'll see you back here next time on am1100theflag.com. Take care. 1, 2, 3, give us a big cheese, whatever is going to make you smile.